Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to guide you through a step-by-step process on sewing custom pieces that were inspired by Pinterest, Instagram, fashion magazines, or maybe even fashion runway shows. So today I have this ruffle sleeve dress that I made for a wedding that we're invited in August, and I cannot wait to share my whole process with you. So let's get it started. Hey guys, it's Alisa here, and on this channel I do sewing related discussions as well as some sewing tutorials just like this one are coming up. So if you haven't already, this is definitely the right time to subscribe, so click that subscribe button, share this video, like it if you really enjoyed it. It really helps me to understand what kind of videos guys you enjoy and prefer. Alright, let's get into step number 1 of my creative process. For step number 1, I have to conceive an idea. I have to have a very clear vision of what am I doing. So usually I research a little bit on Pinterest and I kind of look around. What is my inspiration? Sometimes I make a mood board if it's a bigger project, and then I make a sketch. So what I have in mind is a ruffle sleeve dress, probably a kind of like a round neck, or yeah, kind of a round neck. You know that last year was named the year of sleeves, so it was a trend that really took off, and it's still very popular. So I think that it's very now, and I also feel that this dress will serve me for quite some time. I want it to be kind of maybe a little bit above the knee, so not too short but not too long either. I'm not really too precise on how I sketched this. This is not going into any sort of archive or anything like that. This is just a rough sketch for me, just to have an idea of, what am I actually doing. I don't want anything that's too glittery or too over the top or anything like that. I like very simplistic things because I think they make your personality shine. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with inseam pockets over here. I really am not sure about that. We'll see how I feel about that, because the fabric that I'm thinking about is quite stiff, so we'll see how it goes. Now for the step number 2, you want to choose a pattern that you will use to modify to suit your needs for whatever you're creating. For this ruffle sleeve dress, I am going to use In the Folds pattern from Peppermint magazine, and it's a ruffle sleeve top. It does have a v-neck, so I'm just gonna decide if I'm gonna go with a v-neck or if I'm gonna modify it for a round neck, and it's also a free pattern, so it's definitely a winner. Alright, so I have my fabric laid out, and I'm going to start with the back piece. I always start with the back piece first, just because it's easier. There's no darts, and then when I'm done with the back piece, I can always layer it on top of my front piece and adjust my front piece from there. So that's just a little piece of advice. That's how I do it. It's not necessarily a rule. It's just a little bit easier for me personally. So I'm just going to pin some of this down, and I'm going to make some adjustments. The length of the back of the whole dress is going to be 36 inches. So from here, I have to count 36 inches. So the length is going to end somewhere here, right over here. And the thing about that is that I could have just lengthened it out by just prolonging this line, but then it's gonna make an A-line dress. And as we remember from the picture, the dress is not necessarily A-line, it's just straight. So I want to make some adjustments to that. Now I'm just gonna mark, I don't want to mark it with a marker. I'm just gonna mark it with a pin over here, where is the length of my dress. I'm probably gonna add an inch or 2 so that I can fold it. And then what I'm going to do here is I am going to see, this is the hip line. This is where the top is hitting my hips, and this hip line is 12 inches. The hip line that I want for a straight dress is going to be 10.5. So you see, there's quite a difference over here between one and another. So what I want to do is I want for this piece to go quite straight down. So So whenever I'm going to be cutting, usually what I do, I just kind of put the pattern like this. And I'm just going to cut straight down whenever I need. I do have quite a lot of fabric left right over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna actually refold the fabric so I'm not losing this whole chunk. All right, so the back piece has been cut out and I can put this aside. And now we're gonna get onto the front piece. Now, to adjust that, what I usually do is I layer the back piece on the front piece, like that. And what it's going to tell me is that the length of the piece on the back, which was 36 inches, should match on both front and back. And the way I'm going to do that, you see I'm not counting this point from the neckline, I'm counting this point when I layer both of them on and they align. So that way I would actually know that, this is actually the true length. Sometimes I do need to adjust it a little bit for the balance of the actual piece. Balance is when you add a couple more centimeters to the front than to the back because you have the bust, so that to account for that. And all right, I have my piece done over here, and I'm just going to adjust the front to the back, and I'll do exactly the same that I did over here and cut it out. After that, when your front and back pieces are done, you will need to cut your sleeve and your ruffle. There's no modifications about these pieces, so it's super straightforward, so I'm gonna do it off camera. And then we're gonna begin the assembly. So first I'm going to begin by assembling the darts. I already have them pinned in place. After that, I will put back and front together. I will set in the sleeves, add the ruffles, and of course do the facing on the neckline, and I will hem the bottom. Alrighty guys, let's do a mid-progress check-in. So darts are in, shoulder seams are in, side seams are in. Now I just have to serge, set in the sleeves, ruffles, and top stitching. And so far everything fits just like I want it to. To talk more about the pattern, although I did shave off 2 inches from each side and the waist, it still came in a little bit too baggy for me. So if you're definitely not looking for something too wide, consider that. Also, the V-neck, I do like the way it turned out over here, but it wasn't as pronounced as I thought it would be. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with this kind of like U-shaped V-neck, but definitely didn't came as pronounced as I thought it would be. Other than that, the pattern is really, really great. Definitely, I mean, it does look clean enough on this side, but I think the fabric was just a little bit too, maybe too thick for the serger. I don't think it's too thick, but the serger for some reason didn't want to do a neat enough job as usually it does, although I did adjust the tension and everything else. So I mean, it is what it is. I think it's neat enough. Would I like it to be neater? Yes, but not everything comes out the way you want it to. Darts are great, everything else is great too, and the sleeves are also quite big, all in all, as a sleeve, and I don't mind for this construction. I wouldn't mind it if I would follow the pattern completely with as big enough waist as it was, but since I'm probably gonna put the darts at the end in the back, so it's not gonna bother me as much. But overall, this is definitely a great pattern, especially for the fact that it's free and it's pretty stylish and very, I would say, simplistic design, but very nice executed. And this is how I'm planning to wear it at the wedding. Different shoes though, but the concept is very similar. I have a golden clutch, I have a statement necklace over here, and the shoes will be this kind of like orange color with a golden rose. So I hope I can still wear them. So by now, guys, you know that my husband is pretty opinionated about the stuff that I make and sew. So about this dress, he said, honey, definitely wear it with a belt because it looks like a potato sack. So I lost my sojo for about an hour, and I think I might add 2 darts at the back, 2 decorative darts, because I do have a lot of contrasting top stitching of this dress. So I might add 2 decorative darts in the back just to give it a little bit more of a feminine figure, I guess. I wanted it to be pretty loose, but I guess it might have been a little bit too loose. As you can see, when you think that the sewing is done, it's not always the case. So I think I'm leaning towards the fact that I want to add those decorative darts. Maybe not just 2 darts, maybe like 3, maybe 2 or 3 smaller ones at the back, just to shape the dress a little bit more. So I definitely hope that you enjoyed this video. If I do go through with the darts, I will show you how the dress looks after the changes in my July sewing makes video that is going to be up probably at the very end of July or at the very beginning of August. So definitely check it out. And at this point, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. You have no idea how much how much joy this brings to me, seeing your comments, seeing your likes, and definitely seeing your responses. So like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.